Welcome to PAO Fans International. You've got Tom and Nick. Welcome, gents.
Evening.
Great to be on after an overall positive week for Panetolikos.
Yeah, definitely one of our biggest results in what, 15, 16 years, we can easily say. Tom, glad to have you back again.
Thank you. Thank you. Ecstatic. Big week. Yeah, good to be on.
Always good, always good. Let's kick things off with the first match, which was the Europa League, the one of our biggest results in a long time. Panathinaikos defeated Real Betis 1-0, courtesy of a Taborda penalty in the 88th minute. The penalty came from a Calabria standard long ball. He's got some connection with Swideski, where he always finds him in open space with a long ball. Very late tackle by Diego Lorente, which saw him see 87th minute red card after VAR intervention. Referee initially said nothing, play on, because Swideski took a shot, went wide. Very late and very dangerous tackle. An Australian referee was the one that was sitting in the VAR box. Gillett, if Aussies remember that name from A-League and EPL, he does a bit of EPL, and he's the one that got into the referee's ear for review. And then Taborda stepped up, smashed it straight in the middle to give us a win. But prior to that, in the 59th minute, Zaruri did um, see himself get a second yellow card, which was a red card in the 59th minute. So let's discuss what we saw. Tom, I'll get you kicked off with this one.
Um, it's probably the most satisfying performance I've seen for a long time. But yeah, what a feeling. I think the nerves definitely set in. I think it got to about the 70th minute mark and just uh, I was very tempted to switch off and just hope for the best. But um, overall, tactically set up well. Defensively, though, was just outstanding. And I think that defense on Friday morning or Thursday night would have stood up against some of the best teams in the world. And um, just pleasingly, just to see that sort of connection that we had, and that it was like a strong bond, right? The teams, I think we linked up well, and the confidence was there from the beginning. And like a lot of our performances, we're very, I'll say sloppy, but the first sort of 15, 20 minutes, we're very slow to get into it, into some sort of rhythm, but not the case on Friday. Possession probably wasn't our strongest point, but I think when we did have possession, I think we made the most of it. And very unlucky in terms of the red card. Um, some say worthy, not worthy, but I think that second one by Zawari, I think it definitely warrants a yellow, which unfortunately got the red. Um, and yeah, 88th minute, we all knew what happened, and I think that I'll give the board a bit of credit here, and we all doubted him, and again, very slow to sort of get his form in and all that, but to step up at the 88th minute in one of the biggest games in, you said it, 15 years, right? And put it past, and a bit of a smile as well just before he kicked it. It's just, yeah, it made my day, made my week. Just that European performance and seeing Panathinaikos in the spotlight where it should be. So, yeah, ecstatic.
Nick?
Elas Evropi, Panathinaikos. You guys know the rest. For the young generation, finally they got to see something special, really, well, truly special. I mean, in the last few years, in the last couple of years, we've beaten Villarreal, we've beaten Fiorentina, we've eliminated Shakhtar on penalties. We've Marseille, we beat and eliminated on penalties. We beat Ajax, but then we lost on penalties. We've had good wins, but none of them compare to this one for me. This one is in a league of its own. It's absolutely special. It was our biggest game for me in 16 years. And what lays ahead this upcoming week is now our biggest game in 16 years as well. Let's take it from the start, I guess. The lineup. Rafa's hands were tied because we're talking a whopping 12 players were ineligible to play if you take into account the guys that are ineligible because they're not on the European list. Then we had Dubar and Javi Hernandez that were suspended, that were key outs because we had to play Calabria and Zaruri in both of them in unnatural positions. And for me, they were the only two that struggled in this game. The rest were like 10 out of 10. Got nothing bad to say about anyone else. But even from Calabria and Zaruri, the effort was there from both of them. Even Zaruri with the red card. Start was a bit both sides feeling each other out. Real Betis like to start slow, grow into the game progressively, establish the possession-based game, the short, quick passes, and they can hit you then after that. First half, we kept them at arm's length. We did a job. We were never going to be open. We were never going to go all guns blazing. And like for me, it's a deserved win. You get fans of neutrals and fans of other clubs saying, how can you say it's a deserved win? For example, for me, it's a deserved win because we had a game plan and we executed it to perfection, absolute perfection. And Taborda, I was going to get onto him later. Man of the match, head and shoulders for me. But our MVP in this one was our coach, Rafa Benitez. I've been a huge critic of his. I'm still unsure of him. But the hero knows Europe, and he knows Europe inside out. He did what he had to do in terms of he stuck to his guns, formation and lineup, tick. But then he didn't panic after the red card. I would have panicked. I was screaming at the TV, not only subs, formation change, 4-4-1, and just shore it up. Instead, he didn't panic. He stuck to his guns, and it paid dividends. Full credit to him. The subs were, in hindsight, now introduced at the perfect time. And he came on, Zvidelsky, who's copped a lot of abuse this season, and in his first touch, he won us the penalty, the all-important and decisive penalty. As you said, Tom, not only did Taborda score that penalty, he did it with a smile. The confidence this guy oozes. Here I wasn't sitting, I was standing. Literally, I couldn't feel my legs. My knees were buckling. I was shaking. Both hands were shaking. And he's this guy with the ball in his hands smiling. You had that goalkeeper that we played against in the past, the former Marseille keeper, that Forti scored the penalty pass at the Velodrome a couple of years ago. Pau Lopez. He got carded. He was trying to put Taborda off. Taborda knew exactly where he was going to go. Low and hard down the middle, which takes guts in itself to hit a penalty like that with so much riding on it. Not only for the penalty, for so many other things, Taborda's my man of the match. He popped up everywhere. He brought the intensity, the energy as you come to expect of him now. We don't need to get into the backstory of Taborda. Sterg, you wrote a great article. It's a curious case study, Taborda. But he's one of the first names on the team sheet now. He's a little pocket rocket. He brought the press, the energy. His intensity is infectious. It rubs off on the rest of them. Tete was phenomenal as well in this game. He copped a lot from their defenders. Their defenders, Llorente, that did get the red card, should have been red carded much earlier. The constant fouling, that's another thing I was going to say. The referee, we spoke about the Lithuanian referee that had a shocker against Plizen. This guy was arguably worse. The Zaruri one, I agree, Tom. The second yellow, I like to look at those things. If it happens in reverse, what I'd be saying, if that happened against us, I'd be calling for a second yellow. However, the first yellow was farcical, beyond comical. If that happened in reverse, there's no way, not even the first or the second would have been cards. And we saw their players diving at every opportunity they got. They weren't brought up on it. Our guys were getting fouled, not even getting free kicks. And the penalty, he didn't even want to give it. Thankfully, there was VAR, and it got given after a relatively quick VAR check. Thank God for that. But we looked better when we went a man down. When it was 10 on 11, we were more compact. We stayed resolute in our shape, and we actually carried more of a threat going forward. As I said, subs introduced at a perfect time. The board of the man of the match, that day was also brilliant. Our structure was perfect. Our defensive line, I know we said Calabria struggled playing in an unnatural position, but Katris, phenomenal. Dido Ingerson. Lafon, almost a spectator. I know he had to make a few saves, but they weren't world-class saves. They were routine saves, the saves you expect him to make. And that's the biggest compliment I can give Rafa Benitez in our back line. We kept the fifth-place team in the Liga at arm's length. They barely threatened, and we're going to get on to next week. I think it's going to be a totally different kettle of fish. But we did a fantastic job on him. Rafa knows Pellegrini inside out. He has a winning record over Pellegrini. He knew Betis. He had his game plan. He executed it perfectly. Renato Sanchez probably had his best game for us. Said in, as always, reliable. Not bad, not good. He's always solid for us. We saw that. The subs, other than Zviderski, they came on a bit late. Not really, not much use talking about him. Rafa Benitez, it's like 22 games undefeated in the Europa League at home, still undefeated as Panathinaikos coach in Europe. We've all criticised him at different points, but the hero knows Europe. That was my main takeaway. He was the border on the pitch outstanding, but Rafa won it for us this game. Full credit to him.
Yeah, yeah, and I've been a vocal critic. I'm not gonna back off in what I see, but I'll talk about what I saw as well. So we started off very brightly those first few minutes. We took it to them straight away, and then as the first half went on, you could tell the quality of Betis really came through. They were very good, very dangerous in that short passing game, that short, quick passing movement off the ball game. A lot of the preview, what we said in the pods, that they do like to shoot from distance. We were always going to be waiting for those shots, and the shots did come, but they rarely threatened. Routine saves, as you said. So it was a very tense first half. I think the referee was a bit too lenient. Should have been some calls that he should have called. But I thought the defense was outstanding, especially Calabria in an unnatural position. Yeah, he didn't have the best of games, but he
You
was there
can't
and we
really,
kept the clean
there's
sheet.
mitigating circumstances, exactly.
Yeah, he kept the clean sheet. I thought Sanchez was outstanding as well. A lot of the quality in his short game passing, keeping the ball, the tempo,
The
control
ground
of
he
the
covered.
ball. Yeah, and he's really, when he's fit, he's been pretty handy player for us. So up front, Taborda was great. You got the goal. Who else? Pelistri. Pelistri's going to be Pelistri. He's going to run up and down
He had a good
non-stop,
game. He had a
take
good
on
game.
players. He's got the confidence about him. I always enjoy watching Pelistri. And then Tete was a little bit isolated, and he was still going in physically, but there wasn't many opportunities coming his way. He had confidence. I think he made that one wrong play that he did I think he took it the wrong direction, but he did what he could, in that role against a really well drilled team, very physical as well, especially defensively. A lot of long balls going towards him. I wasn't, it wasn't really going his way. Zaruri played the right wing back. I think he played there over Pelistri, because Pelistri has played there, mainly for more his defensive effort, because he has played that left wing back. But as I say about Zaruri, you're going to get rocks and diamonds performances from him. The first yellow shouldn't have been a yellow. The second one was definitely, but there was a couple of times he did look a bit out of the class of this game. The game just looked too much for him, and I think he was a bit more found out by the quality of Betis. He did get sent off, so that means he won't be in the next match. Not too sure if that's too much of a big loss, because we are getting some big ins as well, but. I even put in the halftime piece that we should aim, to control the ball, play the ball over, because everything in the air they were winning. And then how did we get the penalty? Because of your long ball. So a standard Calabria long ball to Swiderski. That connection has happened at least 3, 4 times. Those two linking up that long ball. Yeah, second half, and I think you're right. I think the red card sort of spurred us on. I think we're able to go even more compact. And that's what Betis struggle against. They lost against, was it the week before? They lost against Getafe
Getafe.
2-0. And you read the reports, everything, and watch the highlights. It was a carbon copy. where Betis has all the ball, all the attack. Getafe just sits back and just absorbs the attacks and then just go on their own attack. I think we looked a bit dangerous against Betis when we had the ball, we were quickly switching from right to left. We saw Kyriakopoulos get into space. I think he had a couple of decent chances. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
they were
good
going
game.
to him. Yeah, he was good defensively, but he was the one that was getting into space because we were switching the ball actually pretty good and pretty quick, and he was finding himself in a high attacking space, in a high attacking line. Um, so. Yeah, I think there was definitely opportunities for us as well in this game, and unfortunately, when those couple of good chances do come to your left back, you're not going to get the quality of the shots you want, mainly that you'll get from your strikers and wingers. So yeah, but I thought overall good game, and it's going to set up a tense second leg. But look, the penalty was Stonewall. The
Oh
the
yeah.
penalty was absolutely Stonewall, and I think that's a big out for Betis having Lorente out. A lot of experience and a quality player there for them, so that's a big out. So yeah, in Taborda, like. He could have gone anyway. He could have gone over. The nerves could have got the best of him. He could have gone tame. We've seen, penalties like Sudesky. They've been pretty tame. Like anything could have happened, and he just buried it straight middle. And the disappointing thing was Torjos, the edit commentator, didn't even sound like overly excited. But you put the Brazilian commentators on, which is now gone viral amongst the Panetolikos fans, and you hear them going wild. So this is the contrast when you've got biased slash other team commentators compared to just the neutral ones where they just went wild. So. Yeah, I'm happy for Taborda. It's both our pictures and not planned 2 weeks in a row. We got the same picture, and I even did an article about the transformation. Like, I haven't obviously uh, decided who deserves the credit for it, but I've given a few hints where his transformation comes from. So it's just a thought-provoking piece about his transformation and just his kind of story at Panathinaikos. Um, but yeah, Nick, we do have now the reverse leg, and I'll start with you shortly about what we're thinking, how do we approach it, everything like that. But our good friend of the show, Arkonda, Chris, will be at that game. He has confirmed to me he will be at that game. He will send across content, send across pictures, videos, etc. So, Arkonda, we look forward to it. We hope, obviously, Rafa's European streak continues for the sake of all of us and for the sake of the content. Um, but Nick, what happens now this game?
I'm not prepared to dream yet. No way. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard, and that's putting it mildly. I'm expecting an avalanche. I'm expecting a full-on onslaught. If in the off chance they underestimated us at Oaxaca, which I don't think they did, I mean, the president leading into the game said it's a dream draw. They couldn't have asked for an easier opponent when he was asked about us. There's going to be no underestimating us this time round from anyone. It's going to be at home. It's going to be what, 60 odd, 70 odd thousand, their fans. It's going to be different. Lafon, the back line, everyone has to have a 10 out of 10 game. We were fantastic at Oaxaca. We're going to have to be even better, I think, to get through. I'm expecting it to be much, much harder. But I will go there with the mentality of if you keep a clean sheet in this tie, the second leg, you're guaranteed to go through without extra time, without penalties. That's easier said than done, of course. And it takes one moment of madness, one split second that can change a game. But that's the mentality I go there with. And then you sort of hinted to it as well, Sturge, like in the first leg, like chances will come to us on the counter. With the D, we're always going to carry a threat. Tete Taborda up front. In terms of lineup, he's going to stick largely to that first leg, especially formation-wise, will be the same. Duba, I expect him to come straight into that starting side. He'll be a big addition, as I think will Bakasetas to partner Renato Sanchez in midfield. We've seen him in number 8. It looks more natural to him these days. And him and Taborda on the field seems to work. So that's what I think we're going to see. But everyone is going to have to be on it. I'm expecting a much harder game. We're going to be nervous wrecks watching this. I'd hate to imagine what my blood pressure is going to be like. And that's us from home, from the other side of the world. Imagine the 3,500 fans that will be in the ground, like our beloved Arfanda.
What about yourself, Tom?
Yeah, very similar. I think we can't go with the mentality of just sitting back and just absorb the I guess the avalanche. Focus obviously needs to be defense, but we need to hold it in the midfield um, and just hope for the best for that counter. Just if we can score in the sort of first 20, 30 minutes and give ourselves a bit of a buffer, I think from there you'd hope to think, we've got a really strong chance of getting through. But I really hope there's no penalties, extra time, all that sort of stuff. And I'm being selfish. I don't think my heart will be able to take it. But yeah, just it's going with the same mentality we did last week, and I think they truly believed that they could win, and they wanted it. You could see they really wanted it, and let's just hope we're going with the same mentality.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is going to come down to game management, how Rafa sets us up, because that was my, if I was to get a criticism, even though he got the win, was his game management. His first sub in the first leg didn't come until the 75th odd minute or thereof. Betis were 4 subs in, and we were down a player and we looked tired. That was even noted by the commentators asking, um, when's the sub going to come? I think we were all asking it when we were all chatting to each other, when's the sub going to come? Because we looked tired. So a lot of it is going to come with the game management. Most players were rested for this one as well. Um, After this morning's game against Panetolikos, or last night's game against Panetolikos. So yeah, we're coming in as big underdogs. I've looked at the odds, the percentages, everything like that. We're coming in as significant underdogs in this one. The bookies are really backing Betis to do the job here. Um, that's fine. We've got a 1-0 lead essentially. So starts 1-0. We've taken, sorry, a 1-0 advantage, and the game starts at 0-0. So, and I agree, Tom. We can't just sit back and defend for 90 minutes. That can't happen. We won't be able to sustain it. We need to be smart when we're going to attack and not expose ourselves to counterattacks, because that's their bread and butter. It's their counterattacks. When we're compact, that short passing, taking shots from far, it's only going to get them so far. But it's the counterattacks. They've got Anthony. They've got the other guy on that.
Fornals,
Yeah,
Erzalzuli,
Fornals. They got players that can
Lucha
penetrate.
Hernandez, they got
Yeah,
Bectaraves.
that's the one. They got, yeah, the Hernandez. He was pretty solid, and the Moroccan guy, that Ezal Zuli, was,
Erzalzuli.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God the chances that went to him were headers. He's not good in the air, but the chances from him. I think he took long range shots, but that's about it. Nothing with the ball on his feet at the box, which was good. Um, but yeah, I think very compact. I think we'll line up stronger, definitely, because we'll have Calabria in his natural position. We'll
Yeah.
have Duba, which I'm a little bit worried about, Duba, to be honest, with this game. I think he's been average at best lately. He did play a full game now against Panetolikos, but I think he's been a bit average, a bit, and the pace that Betis plays with, I just worry about that. I think Ingerson Katris is going to have or if Katri starts, depends on if he puts Harvey also. They're going to have a lot to try and help out. And Kyriakopoulos as well. Obviously, keep Anthony silent as well on that wing. Um,
It's probably a good point, actually. I forgot to mention that. And Anthony was really didn't see much of him. And credit where credit's due. Yeah, Kyrgiakopoulos, I think that incredible job
him,
keeping under
even
control.
even
Yeah,
Katris was really
yeah.
playing a physical game, nothing dirty, just real physical, just really good tackling on him. And I think at one point Anthony lashed out at him, did a really dirty hit on him, and that should have been yellow carded as well. It was a really dirty hit. Um, So we'll just see how that all lines up. We know Bakasetas will come in. I think he'll do a better job than Seren. I thought Seren was okay at best. Nothing special, nothing great. Just did his game. Nothing special. But I think Bakasetas will provide a little bit more height, a little bit more physicality as well. I think
Shooting
And
option.
shooting, yeah, he's a long range threat. So if he gets a sniff at goal from range, he's gonna hit it as well. Um, so yeah, they both offer different things, but I think Bakasetas, what I appreciate about his game, even though he's that classic old sort of complementary forward, supplementary striker, he can defend. He's a very good defender. Um, so I'm not going to discount that from his game. Up front, we're going to see Taborda, we're going to see Pelistri, and we're going to see Tete. That's guaranteed that that front three will start. Sanchez and Ingerson were rested, just rest up everything. They've had a lot of minutes. They're probably just dealing with anything niggling sort of injuries, so we should see them lining up ready to go, you know, 90 minutes battle, 90 plus minutes if we head to extra time. But yeah,
Let's hope
we're
not.
playing. Yeah, and we're playing what? They're at their stadium, which is I think 60,000 capacity as well. Um, and it's a beautiful stadium in that part of Spain, in Andalusia. So I think it's going to be good for the traveling fans. There's reported of 3,500
Three and a
fans
half.
traveling. Um, so yeah, I think it would be yeah, an experience, and obviously they're going to hear how loud that we are at the moment. Betis did draw again this morning against Celta, 1-1 at home. So now they're winless in like 5 games. So obviously they're having they're still fifth, but you'd have to question them mentally where they're at because they're winless in 5 and they're facing a European elimination, something that should have probably been what they would have perceived as a straightforward tie for them. We're obviously going in leading this tie, so with the fans sort of on their back, because if you read post-match stuff, their fans were targeting Pellegrini, their coach, a lot with bad game management. They thought the subs were not very good subs that he made. Just a few pointers that I was just taking from reading using Google Translate to their responses on their media. So you could just see that yeah, their fans weren't too pleased with Pellegrini in regards to that, and even they said it as well. It was called Betissimo, something like that, as it's referred, where when they're expected to win at home, they choke it. It's been common in quite a few results where they've come with good expectation that they're going to win a home game, but they never do. And that's what they were alluding to as well in their comments, that just because they're going to play us at home, this is a classic Betissimo where they're going to look where they will probably falter. So that was interesting from their fans. But yeah, dangerous game. One of our now once again our biggest game to date, with what the expectations are, because if we do progress, putting a big if, because that Friday morning, Thursday night, we're just going to be all shitting bricks watching it. The nerves are going to be off the scales.
We're not sleeping. Thursday night, we are not sleeping.
The 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 next match is very likely against Ferencvaros, who took a 2-0 lead over Braga. Now, Braga can overturn that, so I don't want to discount out Braga, but that's not the same Braga as a few years ago. Ferencvaros, we played earlier in Hungary and we drew 1-1, and I thought we outplayed them. They were considered as one of the danger teams, and we were the much better team.
And we were depleted. We were heavily
Yeah,
depleted, unlike now.
exactly. And even the football analytics put us favourites in that tie if we were to progress against Ferencvaros. So very, very interesting to see that. So there's a lot of positive things with that. At the moment, our ranking in Europe is 78th, which is one of our all-time highs in the last X amount of years. And this is funny enough, since the 02-03 season, the most points that we've accrued in terms of coefficients as a club.
Is that
So,
saying something?
yeah,
Because we know what happened that season.
since 02-03, this is the most amount of points that we've accrued. So does our European journey continue? Is there a bit of like a and I said this in the last pod. I don't I'm not saying we're gonna win it, but that little chance, like it's there, and this is what we saw with Greece Euro 4. For those who remember, no one expected us to win, but we beat Portugal, and you're like, is there that little bit of a chance? We got out of the group, we drew with Spain. We're like, okay, we're not going to win it. Like there's some quality teams. I think England were one of the form teams. We were scared, but we avoided them. We got France in the next stage. We beat them, and you kind of start believing like there's an actual possibility. Like we beat the Czech Republic, who are one of the red hot teams as well. And it's like, can we actually do it? And now this is sort of like a bit of the path that we're taking. That yeah, Pleasant were a decent team. We're coming up against Betis, who's one of the favourites in the tournament. They were third or fourth prior to our tie. So I'm not saying we're going to win it, but it's that little bit of hope, and it's just going to keep growing if we progress. So
I'll tell you what, though, if we overcome Friday, I think there's a very, very strong chance. There's no reason why we couldn't go straight to the final. I'm not going to say we'll win it, but the path is, it's never easy, right? But you can see it. And I think that the biggest hurdle is going to be Friday. If we can overcome that, I think the belief starts.
I've got a few things to say on that, but I wholeheartedly agree. I'm not dreaming. I'm not even thinking about it yet because Friday for me is a huge question mark. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if we're going to get through. However, as Tom said, if we do get through, that's when I start dreaming.
Yeah.
And we know with Panathinaikos, we're one of those weird teams. We do our best work in Europe as underdogs, not as favourites. As against Ferencvaros, we would start as favourites without a doubt. That's something we'd have to worry about. Then Lyon, for me, I think that's going to be. They've been the team of the Europa League. If we were to get that far,
Yeah.
but yeah, one tie at a
exactly,
time. One tie at
exactly.
a time.
Who would have thought two
Not
months
me,
ago?
But
not
look,
me.
but seriously, come Friday, we lose. I don't. Our heads don't go down.
If we're
I went in.
competitive, no.
Yeah. If it's like a 4-5-0, then you're kind of like, all right. But if it's competitive 2-0, the players gave it their all, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. As long as they keep their heads screwed on. Nothing silly, no lunges, no penalties, no hands in the air trying to block, no pushing, shoving, anything like that to like self-sabotage us. If
And
we can
take the
just,
ref out of the game. That scares me.
Yeah.
yeah. The referee won't be announced until what, a couple of days' time, so we won't know too much which referees are going to get appointed. But yeah, look, I think we can keep our heads high. I think this was overall a successful European run. I think it's building a platform um, for that. So a lot of players would
It's
have gotten the experience for it and will be better for it.
even if we lose, if we were to get eliminated this week, it would be the best European run an entire generation has seen.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we can build from that.
We can.
Okay, let's get on to the next game. It is Panathinaikos Panetolikos. This one ended in a 0-0 stalemate. Bit more frustrating on my end. Nick and I are going to disagree on this one. We did have a chat before. I said let's save our arguments for the podcast. 0 against Panetolikos in a heavily rotated squad. The only surprising thing is that Jedvai didn't feature in this. I don't know if he was injured or not, but he didn't appear injured or anything or look anything. He wasn't even in the squad at all. He was in casual clothes. Now, I'm not happy with the result. Nick is, it's okay, we'll never in it.
Yeah.
But Tom, I don't know where you sit with this, so I'm gonna give Switzerland first, the floor, and then Nick and I are gonna go to battle.
So, if you had asked me before midday, I was very whatever. It meant nothing. It's again, like we all said, heavily rotated. But then, the more I read, obviously on social media and all that sort of stuff, it's we should have won. There's no reason why we shouldn't have won these sort of games. It's that mentality part, right? And irrespective of, we all know about next Friday, also this coming Friday, a game's a game and you play to win. Um, there was a lack of effort. It was a completely different team, right? And probably yeah, I'm very on the fence. Like it did mean nothing, but then you look at some of the results, right? Like drawing, um, we could have been, well, what have we, about 9 points, 8 points, 9 points,
Nine.
9 points. We said it last week, right? Like two silly results in the playoff, and suddenly you're 3 points, and you play to win. So that's I guess my view. In terms of any standouts in this game, there really wasn't. We sure, they're very close to a goal. I think when was it, about 70th minute, 75th, that should have been put away. But outside of that, Buntilidis, a little bit disappointing with him. Maybe it's game time, that sort of, he played okay, but again, yeah, yes or no. Like it's nothing really stood out for me. It's let's put it behind us and then yeah, just focus on Friday, I think.
I think Pandelidis is a work in progress
Yeah.
still. I thought he had that really good shot from outside the box, but um, I'm not gonna blame Pandelidis, but I'll let Nick have his say as well.
I have very little to say about this game because we were coming off our biggest game in 16 years, and this game against Panetolikos is sandwiched in between our next biggest game in 16 years, which is this upcoming game. This whole thing with Betis, everyone in the fan base, I'm sure the playing group, the coaching staff, everyone is thinking about Thursday night, our Friday morning. Everyone's thinking about their Thursday night, that second leg in Spain. Everyone's mind is on that. Definitely Rafa Benitez's mind was on that, and we saw that with the mass rotation, the wholesale changes. I'm so glad he did that. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted to see. Perfect for me. We're not. My whole thing is we're not. We weren't in a title race to begin with. If we were in Ake's position, because Ake is still in Europe and still in a title race, if we were in that position, Rafa would not have heavily rotated. Not a chance. And we were crying out for a goal to win this game. He had Tete sitting on the bench. He left him on the bench. That says something to me. If he wanted to win the game, I'm not saying Tete would have come on and scored, but if he wanted to win it and take it seriously, he would have put him on. because he gives us something that Zviderski doesn't have. We're sitting here, right? Sturge and I are gonna agree to disagree and discuss all this. If Vilena does his job as a professional footballer, we're not talking about this. And
Yeah.
for me, that's where I lay the blame. The game, for me, the whole game is in that one moment, right then and there. The whole 90-minute game, just on that. You do your job as a pro, you score that goal. No, we're not having. We're sitting here talking about we made the changes that we should have made and we won on to the next. Instead, we're not. And I lay the blame at the feet of the players that played in this game rather than the coach. The coach, he knows he hasn't got a squad that's capable of fighting on two fronts. We're out of title contention anyway. His hands were tied again. I lay the blame at the players, the fringe players that really get an opportunity. They get an opportunity today. We speak about the Borda. The Borda was on the periphery, never got a look in. When he got his moment, he got his chance, he seized it with both hands. That's what was at stake for these guys today. And as a collective, they failed. None of them stood up and stepped up and said to Rafa, I'm here, count on me more often. And for me, the blame lays right there. In saying that, we were lucky not to concede in this game. Godsadis had a very good game for us in goal. Panetolikos had a couple of good chances to score. And for me, it's one of the takeaways from this game. I can't believe Godsadis is now, you can say, officially a second choice keeper ahead of Chavez. That I did not see coming, but I am chuffed for Godsadis in that sense.
And a
However,
great
the
one.
man of the
And
match,
a great second choice.
yeah, fair play to him. I'm chuffed for him. But the man of the match in this game was their goalkeeper, Panetolikos keeper. They have a knack of finding good goalkeepers. They're a well-run club with good scouting networks. They had Chavez. They replaced him with this guy that I'd never heard of, at least. I don't know where they find him, but good on him. And that's it for
Yeah,
me in this game. Not much, nothing else other than the game was in Vilena's hands in that one moment.
yeah. Look, Vilena should have scored. I'm not. There's no defending that. But it was a top save. That was a really good save by a really good goalkeeper. What's his name?
It's
Kucherenko.
Ukrainian, yeah.
I don't even know where he's from or anything, his history or anything. But look, I'm gonna say this was a bad result. We should have won. We're Panathinaikos. We've got the depth. While this heavily rotated team isn't as quality as the players that we did leave out, we have the depth, and there's no excuse to not win every single game. As Panathinaikos, that should be the expectation. We shouldn't be thinking about Friday. We should be thinking about the current games now. Prior to this game, if we had won, we'd be 9 points behind three teams. We would be the most informed team leading into the close to the playoffs. There's one more round. We've got Asteras Tripolis. But we would be the most informed team. We could scare the top three teams. We would be making them shit bricks. And especially Olympiacos, our biggest rival. I can bulk, we might take the gas off a little bit, but against these teams, especially into the playoffs, say we get into the playoffs all 9 points behind. We get into that first week and we win our first game. We're already 6 points behind with 5 games to play. The opportunity for third would have been realistic. Now, we are 11 points behind three teams, and that's an extra game that we have to cover. Now, I think officially the race for third, trying to catch anyone in that third spot is officially done because the three teams next week all have easy matches, inclusive of us. So we're not going to bridge that gap on any of them. It's going to remain at 11. At 9, we win the opener, bring it to 6. Who knows what happens there? I
Yep.
think I think we would be a fighting chance for third, which would be a better progression for the Europa League, um, the round stage where we need to qualify for. And it would have definitely guaranteed us for Europa League because at the moment, PAO Orfi as well have to play for the Greek Cup. So that's another reason why I'm a bit pissed off. And I call into question Rafa's game management. He should have gone in with the intent to win this game. By the subs, all by the players. He threw in Tony Villena, who doesn't really get game time. Why? Why Villena? Like, go for the win. He went for Pantovic instead of Tete. If we wanted a goal and you really want to win, you're going to throw in your best players. Pantovic is a work in progress. He's very raw, and I think he's a work in progress. He does have quite a few good attributes, but he's not going to be the guy that is going to threaten the goals for you. Tete is that guy. Um, Pandelidis and Dino, I think they're both young and they're both raw. They're both work in progress. Don't forget that Borda was in these guys' situation where he came, he had to wait his time. He put in the hard work. He worked with those around him. He worked in that Christmas period we saw in Argentina. If you looked at his socials, just all the hard work he was doing, he came back. He got that big jump from that Roma game, and that's, look where he's at now. So I think these guys are gonna have a good off season, come back, be ready in the preseason, bulk up, whatever, and do what's required of them. But this game for me was there for the taking. I think Rafa should have not thought too much ahead of Friday. We've got to take every game as they come, one game at a time. I thought this was an opportunity to continue our good form, win at home, and just, then focus on Betis. But I think it was very short-sighted of him to not care about this game because we are Panathinaikos. The expectation for me as a Panathinaikos fan is we must be winning all our games, especially in the Greek league, especially at home. And what frustrates me even more as a Panathinaikos fan is every fucking former coach and former player that has played for us gives us a
Score.
fucking bullet. Their teams come set up a war. They don't make life easy. Anastasio came and doesn't bend over for us. He doesn't do like what Orfi does for Olympiacos. He doesn't have those teams like other teams that have their puppeteer teams. Former players and former coaches of us just come in and wanting, to beat us with everything. Even there's a good relationship, whatever, and that's what fucking frustrates me as well. Not, fair enough, like, they're playing with integrity, everything like that, but fuck me. That was really frustrating that Panetolikos did play some good football as well from the 25th minute onwards. They were playing some pretty good football. And that was the frustrating thing that they came to play, weren't gonna gift 3 points. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on all of this in terms of I think Rafa bombed this. This was a good opportunity to win this game. We're Panathinaikos. We're not Ike. We're not any other mediocre team that chooses and picks when they want to win. We should be winning all our games.
I get that, and I fully agree with that, mind you, fully agree. However, we were out of title contention after match day 3, our second game of the season. For me, the league was done and dusted there when we lost to KFCR. If we want to talk about moments where that killed us in the title race this season, it's the first 2 games that we played, and then the other Geles after that. Now, a few days after on, as I said before, Rafa knows this squad is incapable of fighting on 2 fronts. He has to pick and choose his battles wisely. A normal Panathinaikos that was in a title race, that was firing on all cylinders, we wouldn't see rotation. I'm certain of it. We wouldn't see mass rotation.
I'm just looking at. Yeah.
Sorry, you also got to look at, right, the Borja, Tete, Bacacetas, Seren to an extent, Calabria, Yadvay. You take 5, 6 of your best out of your team.
Of course.
It'd be a Liverpool, United, Real
Anywhere,
Madrid.
of course.
Yeah, and I think lucky to walk away with a point, but yeah, I agree. Could have won.
Yeah, they signed him from Dundee United.
Oh, the
in
keeper.
in the summer, yeah, their keeper. And they only sold him because he had a bad game against
Well,
Falkirk 3-0.
well,
So he was dropped then after that, and they sold him to Panetolikos. So he was a Shakhtar Donetsk youth keeper.
what I was gonna say though, if we went not full strength, but we saw more of the first team regulars play, if any of them got injured and they played,
Yeah.
imagine the outrage that would have come after that.
Look, it's the risk. It happens. It happens. You have to pick your poison. Do you go for the win in every game? My opinion is yes. We should be aiming to win our games. Historically, it has happened in the past. We saw Aitor get injured, coming on late in a game. I think we've also seen it happen with Basinas about 20 odd years ago as well, against Porto. So look, it has happened in the past with us, but
Exactly.
I know that it's football. Like that's the risk. Like your players are there to win games. You hope they come out healthy, which 99% of the time they do. But because we saw the promises of even Jurisic. Jurisic started, and it's not the same Jurisic that we're used to.
Nah,
We're
he's
seeing Father Time
body's
catch
caught
up
up
with
with him.
him. Yeah, Father Time's catching up for him. He was a good quality player that, good servant of the club and really served us well. But I'm pretty sure his contract expires this summer, and I don't see him staying. But, he's been a good servant, and he just really looked off the pace today.
Yeah, he did. That's
And
the onus was on the players for me, not the coach, to seize their moment. As we said before, I know what you're going to say. You're going to disagree with me. Even if we'd won this game, I still don't think we would have found a way to win the league. Either way. And this
I'm
game
not
was
saying to
genuinely
win
in
the
between
league.
Betis.
I'm not saying to win the league, but there was the opportunities there to stay 9 points and then just still be that threat in that come the playoffs.
We
But
can still beat a threat.
it's an extra game now, being 11
Yeah,
points.
it is. It is. What's
That's
actually what's interesting, not only us, Ike, both of us, Ike will progress. For us, it's still a question mark. Let's say we both progress. Quarterfinals, there's that new rule that Olympiacos fought so hard for to get implemented a couple of years ago and it got pushed through. Us and Ike can choose to get a game postponed.
Didn't we do that already because of
We've done it already, but if you make the quarterfinals, you get a second chance to do it
oh,
again.
interesting. Oh,
Correct. Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
There you
wasn't
go.
aware of that.
Imagine the carnage, the outrage, Olympiacos. If us and I choose to do it different rounds, the league's going on break. There's an international break. Easter's coming up. We can throw the league into chaos.
I didn't even know that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. But
Yeah.
look, I think one more thing I actually wanted to say about the Panathinaikos Panetolikos game before we move on is we finally saw Jagasic. He
Yeah.
came on and played. And do you know what? For the short amount of time that
Look
he
good.
did come on, he
Looks
looked
good.
very, very good. Um, I'd say just keep an eye on him because he's a stud. Um, he's a stud.
Yesterday, I was looking at now the kid from here, Segacic, that
Yeah,
left Australia, has chosen to play for Croatia. He's going to be called up by all accounts in their youth sides. The Croatians, the Dopi, the local Croatians over there, a lot of the comments were saying promote Jagusic to the men's team.
yeah.
Mm.
Jagsic played what, 25 minutes, and he looked very, very good. He looked very, very good. There was some very good passing that he did. High IQ, everything. He's going to be an absolute stud.
Yeah. Very young as well. I think give him a couple of
Yeah,
years. He was in
20,
1920, isn't he? Yeah.
20,
18?
yeah.
No, he's 18, I
Is
think.
he 18? Fuck.
Jeez.
Yeah. Just confirming his age. Oh, sorry. No, no, no. He is 20. He is
Yeah.
20. Sorry, I thought it was 18. But still, absolute stud. So yeah, one to look out for. Final round of the Greek League regular season is Panetolikos Asteras Tripolis. Be interesting to see how our players back up from that from the Betis war. I expect a bit of rotation. Once again, obviously dependent on the result of Betis. If we progress, I expect heavier rotation. If we do not progress, I expect
Yeah.
some form of rotation. There'll be players rotated, but from what it looks like here with this, I think it's worth noting with Asteras Tripolis, they're looking like they will go down. They will be relegated. Panetolikos is on 16, Tripolis is on 17, and Larissa is on 22. They're probably the two out of the three contenders to go down. So it's pretty much between them three. And look, Nick, Panetolikos is 11th in the Greek League on 25. So that's where a little bit disappointed that we couldn't get the job done against them.
Even the guys, I know you're going to disagree. The guys that we played should have still won. They should have, easier said than done. They haven't got regular minutes in their
Yeah,
legs. They still should have gone out there and won.
yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm only thing is, I thought it was the game management. We should have put the guys that we know that could win the game to do it. Um, we should have not been put into a position to throw in Villena. We should have, yeah, had other choices there. But yeah, I think we're gonna agree to
Yeah.
disagree, but which is good. It generates conversation. We're gonna talk, laugh, whatever. We're not gonna be at each other, but um, let's switch now to the basketball. And obviously I'm wearing the jersey that came out this year. Now they reverted to the old Acropolis jersey. That would have been nice if they sold that, but must say this jersey actually feels and is actually nicer than what the pictures do appear. So big thank you to Panatha fan for bringing this one back to Greece from Greece for me. Um, and it feels good as well.
Better
So
than the Aussie one, the Pavlos Giannakopoulos one.
yeah, yeah, this is a
Okay.
much better quality as well. I think
Okay.
Pavlos Giannakopoulos was a
That was
quick
a shocker.
press. Yeah, the quality doesn't feel as good. The quality on this feels like a proper jersey. So, yeah, big shout out to Panatha fan for that. Let's get into the basketball. So we've got two matches. It was the EuroLeague match against Zalgiris at home. Panetolikos, in played at home against Zalgiris. Zalgiris often give us tough games. We won 92 to 88, and this one went pretty much down to the wire. Wasn't, I think we took a 6 point lead finally with after a three from Juancho in the final few minutes, and they just came back straight away, brought it close, but it did finish a 4 point game um, in regards to that. So obviously the standout players in that was Chetty, who was on fire very late. Kendrick Nunn started off shooting very well early in the game, got most of his points there. And big shout out for the returning man of Lesot, who came back 9 points, and played 23 minutes in his first game in like what he played last year that in the final four, those or the Europe in last like few minutes, but he got 23 minutes. It looks like he's back and brought the energy with him, brought the fun that we've been missing from him. So, good to have him back on the court. Bit of big crowd favorite as well. We've got a very important win. With how the table looks in the EuroLeague, we're sitting at ninth, which is the play-in, but sixth is only one win ahead of us. We're tied with seventh, so seventh to tenth are all sitting on equal points. We're equal with Barcelona, who's sitting in tenth, and we're ninth. So Dubai and Milano are 1 game behind us, is also very, very congested ladder there. So it's important that we do win all our games in regards to that. The next game is coming up Friday night, Saturday morning in Australia, which would be our Serbian rivals, but not but Red Star.
Red Star.
So that is the next game coming up. Not an easy game. They beat Fenerbahce recently in Serbia, so
They
this is
thrashed up first half of the season away as well.
yeah, yeah. So this is not going to be easy, but they're the team that are 1 win ahead of us. So we win this by what, 7 or more, we will jump them, which is yeah, crazy how the ladder is and how congested it is. Um, So very important game, this one. A home game against Red Star. Must win. All the games are must wins from
Exactly.
here on. Um,
The way they've done it, the position they've put themselves in, they have to go and win every game.
yeah,
What I was going to say, good to see Tate made the short trek across after the game against
yeah,
Betis.
yeah,
Mhm.
and got a loud ovation as well. So look, all the games are they're winnable. We've got Dubai away, we've
They're
got
tricky.
Monaco at home. Upper World is going to be the tricky one away. We've got 3 away games. We've got Upper World and we've got Barcelona and Valencia. Those are going to be two tough trips. And then we finish up at FS at home. We need to win every game, essentially. It's not going to be easy um, in regards to that. And finally, the men's team did play against AEK in the regular season where we smashed them 103 to 78. But we must say that we conceded 31 points in the first quarter against AEK, and that was not a good sign. Ataman was very irate with that. Um, we dropped the first quarter 31 to 8 or 18 to 31, and then we proceeded to demolish AEK after that. But good they rectified it and toughened up the defense because they almost scored half their points in just 1 quarter. That there was something interesting. Ataman took comments and took shots at two of the players. So the first one was Rashaan Holmes, where he pretty much said he was asleep on one of the plays, one of the defensive plays, where Ike player just ran through past him and just scored. And then Rashaan Holmes just do apologize for that. Did post on social medias with like a laughing emoji in regards to that. Not too sure if that's the right response you want to do that. But yeah, I think I can agree with the criticism of Ataman in regards to you need to be putting your defensive effort in there. Rashaan Holmes isn't the best defender, so it's not a good sign. I think you should always be working hard. The other one, which I didn't like too much, was he got asked about playing Toliopoulos, where he said there's a rotation between Slukas, Grant, Nunn, Shorts, who's he meant to take out to accommodate. He doesn't think he's as high standard um, in regards to that. But look, Doliopoulos is a kind of player that is a streaky shooter where he can just hit threes, and when he's in that rhythm and he's in that mood, he can score quick and he can score quite a few points. Not too sure if he's gotten a lot of opportunity, especially in the EuroLeague stage with Ataman. Doesn't seem Ataman has too much confidence in regards to him, but um, I don't like just that throwing under the bus. We've seen it Ataman do it before. We saw it with Lorenzo Brown. We've seen it with T Shorts as well. So not a fan of that style, just throwing players when they should get a little bit more respect. Um, so yeah, the big game obviously will be against um, against Red Star, and that's coming up soon. Um, just want to finish up on obviously this news in regards to the Panathinaikos women's volleyball team. They did make a European final with as big underdogs in what's called the Challenge Cup. Unfortunately, they did go down 3-2 in regards to it, to the eventual winners in the final. But of course, the women's team were big underdogs, and they did take it um to the fifth set as well. So um shout out to the women. I can't remember the team that they lost to, but they took it to the fifth set as big underdogs as well. So
There's a return leg.
this is a return leg?
There's a return leg, and if we win it 3-1, we've won it outright. We've won it. That's it.
Oh, I didn't even know there's a
Yeah,
return
yeah.
leg.
There's a return leg. Our mate Lil Foros was saying it last week. If we win it 3-2, 3-2, it goes to like their equivalent of golden point, like a tiebreaker, like a final set
Oh,
in
that's
Greece. In Greece, I don't know when it is,
interesting. I thought it was just that. It was like a final because they called
but
it the Challenge Cup final.
that team, their budget, that one woman's team, their budget was like the whole Erasitechni of Panathinaikos, basically.
What, the team that they played, Valle
That they
Foglia?
played, that Italian team.
Yeah, Valle Foglia.
Yeah. Their budget, they
That is
reckon,
two
is as
legs.
big as our whole Erasitechni put together.
And we took them to fifth
Yeah.
set. Ah, interesting. Yeah. Ah, oh well. So look, um, yeah, good on them. Hopefully they can bring it home. And with the strong support, I think it's quite possible, even as big underdogs. All right. Anyone wants to finish up? Anything they want to,
Two
Nick?
things.
Yep.
Two things. Don't quote me on this. It could be totally off the money. I've just seen, okay, as I said, could be totally false. Rumors, murmurings doing the rounds that we're moving to Oaxaca next
Mm.
season.
It's just reading
No
that
little
as well.
photos.
Yeah,
What, as in all home games?
All home games.
it's confirmed.
It's
Yeah,
confirmed.
yep. Next season.
That'll be criminal. That'll be criminal. Our last season, what's meant to be our last season at Little
Where did
Photos.
he confirm this?
I've seen it on Instagram. That's why I'm saying don't quote me on it.
It's everywhere now. Yeah,
Uh,
with the cranes or without cranes.
You'd like to think by then it'll be done.
I want the
But it's
cranes. They've
Grace,
been our best. They've been our best things. If you
biggest
see the
fan.
memes, if you see the memes about the cranes, especially Betis, like they were talking about possibly the next game against Varos or Braga it's being at Leofordo, and people doing memes putting cranes in Leofordo. Please bring them across as well. It's magical. I love the cranes. I love the cranes.
It's good to
The
see. I was going to say, good to see Contouris as well called up in the national
That's
team.
what I was going to say
Yeah,
next. Gondouris gets his debut.
great.
Uh,
Gondouris, Bakasetas, Tetei are in the Ethniki squad.
Pantelidis, he played the last game, didn't he? Yeah,
He
didn't
was
get a
called
call up.
up as an emergency.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sturgis mate is in there. Trientis.
he is too. Yeah.
yeah. Mm. For those that with Triantis, he's rumored for Ike, which is not thing. That is quite a possibility. I think we should have gone for him. I think we would do good having that kind of a player as well. But yeah, apparently Ike are rumored, and it is confirmed that they are talking with him as well. But yeah, you're right. It is saying it here that we will be playing at Oaxaca. It was a. Let's see if I can quickly get the reason why they said we're going to Oaxaca. They reckon They reckon it's going to be cheap tickets at Oaka next season and hope to get more crowds. That's their reasoning.
Malak, yes, in other words.
Yeah, absolute stupidity. Absolute stupidity. I have a love for Leofortis. It's a spiritual home ground, 104 plus years, whatever it is. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a sour note because, yeah, we're obviously moving to Panetolikos when it's expected to be already, what, 2027? So next year, like
One season.
March or something. So, yeah.
It's coming along too, isn't it? It's taking
Yeah,
shape.
Yeah, we're talking
yeah.
about a year.
Mm.
Year away from being ready.
That's why I was hoping go with a bang, go out with a bang next season, our last season at Leofortis, but that's
Yeah.
looks like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and Leofortis was worthy of lifting a title there.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think what was it 3 years ago? I think that it was going to be our last games there, and we've gone back. We've gone again, come back. I think yeah, it's not over till it's over. I reckon there'll be a few appearances.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. Anyone else want to say anything before we wrap it up? All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Tom, Nick, pleasure always speaking with you. Akunda, once again, enjoy Betis, and thank you all.